All right, good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had a good evening last night in Baltimore, and I don't know how late the aquarium is open and how many people might be staying an extra day, but the aquarium here in Baltimore really is worth seeing if you haven't had a chance to see it. You actually go down several floors, and you kind of wind your way through the aquarium from upper levels of the ocean to the depths of the ocean. So if you haven't had a chance to do it, highly recommend it. Also, thank you to those who are joining us online. Before I get started, I do have a couple announcements. I'm going to reiterate the announcement about signing up for iKeys, which is so vitally important, because if you don't do that by October 1st, you will not be able to submit data to CMS, nor will you have access to timely reports. So, just as a reminder, CMSNet and VPN will no longer be required, but all users must create an account and establish credentials in order to access iKeys. We are requesting that IRFs identify at least 2 provider security officers for each facility who would be responsible for approving users to ensure smooth transition. Messages and reminders will continue to be sent to all IRFs, but we encourage you to begin this process early and not wait until the last minute so that you are ready to submit assessments beginning October 1st of 2019. If you are an IRF subunit, you must submit your facility's parent CCN when requesting your user roles. We refer you to the QTSO help desk and any questions regarding how to register for iKeys, or to sign up to receive the iKeys messages at help@qtso.com. If you do not receive them, you can also call the QTSO help desk at 800-339-9313. So, an important announcement. One other important announcement is really about receiving notifications if you are at risk of not making the data submission requirement associated with receiving the full APU. So the IRF QRP team would like to remind providers that Cormac offers free email alerts each quarter to those providers who are below the required 95% IRF-PAI data submission threshold or missing NHSN data. Cormac will send informational messages to IRFs that are not meeting APU thresholds on a quarterly basis ahead of each submission deadline. If your facility would like help monitoring compliance with the IRF QRP data submission requirements, please sign up for outreach from Cormac. To do so, email QRP help at cormac-corp.com and include your facility name and CMS certification number with your request for outreach. You will receive a confirmation of your request within 1 business day. So 2 really important pieces of information to make sure that you can continue to comply with the CMS requirements regarding the IRF QRP. Yes, I will repeat the last piece, and that was the help desk or the email address. Okay, just give me 1 moment. I closed my laptop, unfortunately. Okay. So that last piece of information, the email address to request that alert is QRPHelp, H-E-L-P, at Cormac, CORMAC-corp, CORP.com. And you need to include your facility name and CMS certification number with your request for outreach. And again, you should receive a confirmation of your request within 1 business day. All right, so moving on to the official part of our programming today. Again, we thank you so much for taking your precious time to be with us yesterday and today. We have about 65 people here in the room with us, and then we have another 500 participants registered to participate via webcast. We know that 2 days is a lot of your time, and that you all have work that you'll have to catch up on when you get back, but we really hope that the information you're receiving today and tomorrow is well worth the investment in time for your facilities. Again, we are going to continue to go over changes to the IRF-PAI version 3.0 and the IRF-QRP program. Couple housekeeping items before we get started, just in case anybody physically wasn't here yesterday and is joining us today. Restrooms are located immediately behind us, just prior to getting to the elevators. And there are also additional restrooms downstairs at the bottom of the staircase, which is just to our right as we leave the room. Additionally, you'll notice that there is Wi-Fi available here in the room. So the network is Four Seasons Meeting and the code is CMS. Pretty simple. Additionally, a number of us are wearing yellow shirts. So feel free to flag any of us down if you have any questions. Our job is to make this a great experience for you. So we hope that you will flag us down. We will be covering a number of topics today. One, Ann Spinard will be leading us through Section M, skin conditions. And then Deb Weiland, one of our true report expert at CMS, will be leading us through the IRF Quality Reporting Program reports. And that'll be a fun interactive session for you. You'll actually learn how to use those reports to drive process improvement within your organizations. And then Ann will come back and give a presentation on Section C, cognitive patterns. And we brought this session back because we had a number of requests at the May training to offer a session on Section C. And then we'll end up the day with an interactive case study where you'll have the opportunity to put everything that you learned over the last 2 days, or today and yesterday, into practice by coding against a real live patient scenario. And then we'll have a half-hour Q&A and wrap-up session. To support these activities, presentations are located in the downloads section of the IRF-QRP webpage. Additionally, we did provide, for the people who are in the room, packets. So at different points in time, the presenters may refer to handouts by name or by number. Each of the handouts has a little number at the top, so most of the materials associated with the reports activity are numbered 9 as an example. And in your packet, there's actually sort of a legend that tells you which handouts go with which session. Similarly, for people online, those same materials are available in those zip files that are in the downloads section on the IRF-QRP training webpage. They are in 5 files. We had to divide it up in order to meet space requirements. But you would be looking for the August 2019 QRP Provider Training Day 2, Parts 1 and 2. And within each of those folders, there's a folder for each of the sessions. And within each of the sessions, there are the materials that support that session. So again, the report section is especially important. And then finally, we are debuting a one-stop shop for getting all of the information, including, again, access to the presentations and supporting materials on the Event Hub. I'll give the URL for that one more time. It's https://pac.IRF/August 2019 /. And so that particular website basically has all of the materials available associated with each session in the online version of the agenda. So there was an online agenda for day 1 and day 2. You'd go to the Day 2 agenda. You'll see a series of blue dots with each of the presentations. The presentation is labeled P, and the other materials correspond to similarly numbered materials that are in the packets. And you just click on those blue dots, and it should bring the presentations right up. So anybody in the room have a chance to check out the Event Hub? Okay, a few people. Well, great. Thank you so much. Okay, I am now going to introduce our presenters. So again, covering sections M and C will be Ann Spinard. Ann is a principal and vice president at Qualidyne. She is chiefly responsible for program operations and overseeing major initiatives, including the Quality Innovation Network Quality Improvement Organization contract with CMS. Throughout her extensive career as a long-term care and geriatric specialist, Ann has led national quality, patient safety, and data validation projects, and she teaches regularly on a national level to provider groups and CMS. Again, Deb Whalen will be covering the reports training, and Deb is a registered nurse by training and a nurse and consultant on the Division of Chronic and Post-Acute Care, or DC-PAC team at CMS. Prior to joining CMS, Ann worked as a federal contractor, serving as the lead program manager on the Quality Improvement and Evaluation System contract, supporting 5 post-acute care assessment submission and processing systems and downstream reporting of data, including the Quality Reporting Program Quality Measure Reports. So she truly is an expert in the field. And then our last presenter today will be Karen Pryor-Chapalis, who you all met yesterday during the IRF-QRP resources presentation, and she'll be facilitating the case study. Again, Ms. Pryor-Chapalis is the manager of quality and outcomes at Mount Sinai Rehabilitation Hospital, and in her current role leads an integrated team that works to address patients' functional satisfaction and financial outcomes. Throughout her career, Ms. Pryor-Chapalis has been involved in delivering training and education to all levels of staff and patients. And so we welcome her back, and she truly understands the challenges of implementing the QRP, and so we hope brings that perspective to the presentation. So little general information again. Most of this we covered yesterday. The pre-training materials don't include answers, but the post-training materials, which will be posted to the IRF-QRP training webpage, will include the answers to all of the knowledge checks. It will also include the rationale to the case study narrative, answers to the scavenger hunt that we went through in the resources presentation yesterday, and more. When the post-training materials are posted, there will also be links to video recordings of the presentations that were given yesterday and today, and we will be emailing certificates of completion to anyone who attended in person or via webcast. If you're attending via webcast, you do need to also make sure that you're responding to at least 80% of the polling questions that go up on Slido today and yesterday. So speaking of Slido, we're just going to double check. So if you take out your phones or your laptops and open up your browsers and go to www.slido.com, and then enter the code Econometrica, that's ECONOMETRICA. And that should bring you into the session, and if people in the room could raise their hands when they've gotten there. Okay, great. I'll give another second or two for people online to join. And we are going to start by being in the polls tab, and we're going to do a couple knowledge checks. So, how energized are you all feeling this morning? When you got up, were you super energized and ready to go? Are you energized and you really didn't need a cup of coffee? Are you just sort of getting started, warming up, or do you have your coffee in hand and you're hoping that IV drip is going to help you out? Well, gosh, I think you're a little more energized overall as a group than the past participants I asked this question of, and there is no right answer, so thank you for participating in that. Now I have a quick question that does have a correct answer. What school of healthcare was first established in Baltimore in 1840? Was it A, nursing, B, chiropractic, C, dentistry, or D, laser eye surgery? Okay. We'll give it another moment or two. I've always been afraid of laser eye surgery. It probably would help me, though. All right. We're going to see the correct answer, and it is D, dentistry. So thank you for participating. I'm actually running a bit behind time because of those announcements, so I'm going to skip ahead. And we're going to go to asking questions. So for those of you who pulled out your phones, how many of you still saw that little initial telling you that you were logged in as yourselves? How many of you now see the head and shoulders again? Okay. That means you need to reconnect. So click on the head and shoulders in the upper right-hand corner. And you're going to have to re-enter your name, your organization, and your email address. Again, that's really important for those of you who are joining online and want to receive a certificate of completion, because we need to be able to associate your responses with you as a person. It's also important for those in the room because if you're submitting questions and we have a question about your question, it's nice for us to be able to email you that. And sometimes questions are submitted and they're more specific to an individual organization, and we can then follow up with you. Okay, so I think everybody has the hang of asking questions. Basically, you just click on the questions tab and then you type away. Again, you can really help us answer your questions, and you did a fantastic job yesterday. So one, I would caution you, wait till you're about towards the end of the presentation to submit questions, just in case the question will be answered by the presentation itself. And then use that like feature, because as you saw yesterday, we really are trying to respond to the questions that have the most likes, because we feel like those are the questions that are most important to you. So if you see a similar question, rather than re-entering it, please like the earlier question. And that's the upvoting process. Again, please use those action plans to record your ideas. And I think with that, and we'll do a little action plan activity right at the end of lunch. With that, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Ann Spinard, who is going to cover Section M. So thank you all again for being with us this morning.